All right, we're going to get, that's live. We're going to get started here. We'll open with prayer, and then we're going to jump in. We're on question 18 of the questions, and then also on the slides and back, we're starting on 57, which is that question. So we'll get started, and we'll pray. Heavenly Father, we give you great thanks. All right, we're going to go through questions here, and it looks like we're having issues with our projector, so that's not a big deal. But if you look at question 18, we're going to start with question 18. And question 18 is, what are the festival worship services that Christians should attend at their congregation? What we're going to do is we're going to answer a number of questions individually, and then we're going to answer things as a table, and then we're going to answer things as a group. So I'm going to give you 1 minute to try to remember all the Christian festivals in a church year. There are major, there are minor, there are civic. They kind of go in that order. And then there's the ordinary. So the ordinary is every Sunday is a Christian festival for that. So I'm going to give you a minute, try to hit the big ones of the major of the holy festivals, maybe even the minor for things, and then we'll move to the next question in about a minute. Go. Once again, these are festivals for your Christian congregation, not individual families. You might have other civic events that you do, but for your congregation. Give you another 30 seconds. You can use your neighbor if you want. I see some people doing some discussion with that, so that's fine. We can learn from each other. Yes, question 18, Christian festivals that Christians should attend at their congregation. At their congregation, Christians should attend festivals, okay? All right, we're going to go to the next slide, which is question 19, and I want to get, if you have one of these newfangled devices called a cell phone, you might want to take it out and check your calendar, because when do these festivals occur? What date next year do they occur? How will you mark your calendar to make sure you will attend? So start writing down dates, helping each other out. I can give you a clue. There's a major Christian festival coming up in this month, and it's on a certain day, and it happens every year. Yeah, okay, just that's a hint. All right, go. I'll give you a minute. Go. Pay attention to the second part of that question, because that's a good one. Not just when is it, but how will I mark my calendar? Give you about 20 seconds. Try to put down your memory. You can use your table for this too. So if somebody at your table goes, I know when Christmas is, then you can write that down. And you can even know what day of the week it is. That's how I have to do things too, not just dates of the month. I have to know what day of the week things are. All right, go to the next slide. We'll get more table discussion a little bit. Now, what activities do you look forward to participating in at these festivals? So, this is a question, not this is what I do at home. This is a what activities do you like participating in the festivals? That's in your congregation. So what are the things do you go, oh, I really look forward to Pentecost because we all wear red and we sit in the choir together. That's what I'm talking about. Not I go out to eat with my son or daughter. That's a secondary thing. So I want you to think of activities that you look forward to at these festivals. So it should be Christmas, December 25th, and I look forward to because this, that kind of thing. So it's pretty easy. I'm going to give you a few minutes because this is a little more complicated. Go. Don't get bogged down just on one festival. Try some other ones too, of the high festivals, the minor festivals, maybe even the civic festivals, because we do some things there, habits and traditions that you might like. I'll give you a minute or so, about a minute and a half. All right, go to slide 21. You can answer as we go along with this. It's all in a big section, but I'll give you an example of this. My child, when they were young, wanted to play soccer, but practice was hard for them because you actually have to work and get up and do it, right? So I, as a parent who said, hey, you made a commitment to soccer, helped them go to practice and enjoy it. There were some different ways that I tried. Like, for instance, hey, when we go to the game and you worked real hard, we're going to go out to eat afterwards because we're going to make this a priority. Or, hey, I'm going to wake you up early so we have a good breakfast, and we do that to make a priority of what you're doing. What are 3 additional ways you can make attending these festivals a priority for you and your family? 3 ways to make attending a festival a priority. Additional ones. So if you might already have some, but you go, oh, let me think about this. Some people might not even think about it because they're not going to festivals. So you're like, okay, try one. So I'm going to give you a minute or so, 3 things to think about. Go. Just give you, for instance, Jesus in his devotional life, this is Christ our Lord, setting us a good example that was put down in history and in the Gospels, went to all the major festivals and minor festivals, whether they were required or not, to Jerusalem and the temple. Jesus did it. So I'm like, hey, that's a pretty good idea. We don't have to do it. Jesus didn't have to do it, but he did it for a lot of good reasons. So we're looking at our major festivals too. Give you another 30 seconds or so. 3 things. All right, go to the next slide. Question 22, reducing conflict. All right, all of those festivals that you put down, I bet there's one or maybe more that you don't often go to. That you go, I got a kind of a problem. I'm not hitting this 100%. Maybe I'm hitting it 50%. Maybe I'm hitting it only 25%. Maybe I'm not going at all, or whatever that is. There's a conflict. And so the question that I have is, what are 3 hurdles, conflicts, that cause you not to attend these festivals? And how can you overcome them? So a person says, I don't go to Pentecost because Pentecost usually follows on Memorial Day weekend and I want to go camping. Okay, that's a hurdle, right? A conflict. Now, how are you going to overcome that? That's what this question is about. Look at your festivals and say, oh, maybe I'm not doing real great on this festival. How can I overcome that with myself and my family? I'm going to give you a minute or so. Work on that. Go. Three hurdles you can overcome. All right, go to the next slide. Question 23, which is confessing Christ. Now, you got to put your brain caps on this a little bit, but I'm going to give a little bit of an introduction. I might have mentioned it before, but we'll take a poll here. When Barna surveyed evangelical Christianity in America and asked them the simple question of, how often do you go to weekly worship? Is it once a month, twice a month, 3 times a month, 4 times a month? Okay, so 4. They didn't include the 5. It was a percentile. And what do you think the average Christian thinks they're doing really well at in worshiping and going to worship every Sunday? Now, a little more than once. So they were at twice, 50%. Okay, 50%. That they were going to the festivals, they were going to weekly worship, they were going to the minor festivals, all the different things that they have. Then the world said this, and I've heard it frequently. You have a guest that comes into worship, into Holy Cross, and they only see 50% of the people that are worshiping there. What's their impression? Yeah, it's not that, there's not very many people here. Where all the young people and the families and the kids, all I see is old people who are retired and they're all spread out and this church is dying. I'm going to go somewhere else. That's their conclusion with it that they have. And I go, there's a problem with this. So here's another question. According to our recent, as we go through as elders, our attendance and how many members we have at Holy Cross, it's roughly about 800 to 900 people total, okay? How many people do we have here on a Sunday? Okay, that's 33%, folks. 33%. So the point to blame is not others. You always use the mirror of the law. It's us. We're not here for things. We're not being here all the time for the neighbor or the friend or for the worship because our lives are so busy and we have all this other stuff that happens with this. And then I put on top of this, I go, wouldn't it be cool that person's ask you, you're so crazy, you get up in the morning on Sunday morning at 6 and I always see you, you're dressed nice and you're leaving. What are you doing? Well, I'm going to church. Would you like to know about Jesus? But we go, no, I'm going to go to the sports and I'm going to go to Starbucks and I'm going to go to music and I'm going to go to camp and I'm going to, I haven't been to church in 2 months. And your neighbor goes, it doesn't sound like you're a Christian. No, I believe in my heart, but as James says, I'm not doing it. Yeah, right. So this is the next question. How does going to Christian festivals help you better confess Christ and tell others about him? So going to the festivals helps you. How does it do that? I want you to write down an answer. Go. If you have more than one answer, great. I've had a number of people come up to me and ask me as a pastor, whether it's here at Holy Cross or elsewhere, and they will say, Pastor, can you give us an evangelism program so we can go out and evangelize? And I'll say, I can give you two things that will make you an excellent evangelist. The two things is, one, you better know what you believe, teach, confess, and practice. That's doctrine. Many times we don't know. So a person comes into our church and sits down in a pew and says, I don't know what a Lutheran is. I don't know what a Christian is. You better be able to tell them. Second is that you live it. You do those two things, you're a great evangelist. But what is the Christian church and the Lutheran church and maybe even Holy Cross failed at? One or those or both. And so that's what this question is getting at. How can we do that better? All right, now at your tables, questions 18 through 23, discuss with your tables to see if you can learn from each other. Conflicts, resolutions for it, difficulties, things like that. I'm going to give you about 5 minutes, and then we're going to broaden it out to the big group. Go. Give you another minute for discussion, and then we'll break it out into bigger ones. Be sure to go through the questions if you can.
I'm so late. I'll just kind of weasel in back here. What are we talking about? I know. Oh, sure.
All right, we're going to look at the first three questions, 18, 19, and 20, okay? Talking about what are the festivals, when do they happen? Now, you can give an exact date coming up next year, or you can give the general date, like it happens in spring, or it happens usually in April, or something like that. And then what do you look forward to in this? What do you look forward to in going to these festivals? I'll give you a clue. There are 2 major festivals and 1 minor festival that we do not celebrate here at Holy Cross. Not in December. And I'd like two major ones and one minor one that we have. There's some other minor ones that happen with stuff, but we'll talk about that as we go. All right, so give me some dates. Have a table. Dan's got the microphone, so raise your hand if you've got some dates, festivals, and what you like. Nobody likes. Up here, Bill's got one. You can give a few too. That's fine. We're learning from each other. What are the festivals?
Well, I'm not sure this.
Right up close.
I'm not sure this is a
Okay. Yeah. Go ahead.
festival.
All right.
But church votes.
I think it's the opposite of what a festival would be. Do people enjoy that? He mentioned a civic form, which is really, there's national civic and then there's congregational civic. And he mentioned the church voters meeting. And I said, that doesn't seem like a festival. People are like, woo, festival, woo, it's fun, I'm going to be there. A side note, this is something different, not only in our decorum and how we do things, but also how we think about stuff. What age group usually doesn't show up at a voters meeting? Well, young. Why? Because we behave poorly. That's why. That's why. They come in and they go, why am I staying 2.5 hours to watch people argue over nitpick things and argue over the budget and the money and things? Isn't church supposed to be about Christ? I'm out of here. Hook. And you're like, maybe we should do something different or try something different with our things. And this is not just us. This is across the board for things. I actually had a conversation with somebody about there are some things based on theology of how we do polity, but then there's also some things that we've copied from America. And America is about, well, if we just get enough votes, we can get what we want, right? So then we're going to filibuster and we're going to be, and you know that. That's how politics works. And it's kind of bred into our church. So very, very minor. All right, others. Yes?
I have Christmas, Ash Wednesday, Palm Sunday, Easter, Ascension Sunday, Pentecost, and Reformation.
Oh.
But I know there have to be more in the fall, because through Ascension and Pentecost only takes us into the summer.
Yeah. Pentecost is a big season for things. There's a minor one, that's the Reformation, which we have a minor festival that you have with this. There's some other church saint days that happen in there, which are minor festivals for stuff. But we had quite a lot of how they do it. Now, if you look through the calendar, you've got all these holidays that come up for festivals and big ones that you have. The two that oftentimes we don't celebrate, we observe, but we don't celebrate on their days, which are the 2 major festivals we only celebrate on observed days, but we don't do it on the day they do it. Epiphany and Ascension, yeah. And in fact, our circuit is trying to get churches to go together to say, maybe we should have an Epiphany service all together. Because one of the things, and you probably don't know about this, but Epiphany and Ascension are supposed to be celebrated during their regular festival times, not observed. We actually have Sundays that fit in there. And we never get to hear their texts because we're always observing Epiphany or Ascension. So we're like, oh, maybe we should do that as a circuit and observe it on the day and get all together, and that would be kind of fun. There's a minor one that actually we are started as a circuit, and that is Vigil Saturday. Yeah, Saturday before Easter. Now, what's funny, and I just recognized this, a high festival, you always celebrate what Jesus does for you, right? So baptism of our Lord, Jesus does this for us. Easter, he rises from the dead for us, right? Vigil Saturday is a minor festival. It's not a major. But on that day, we celebrate what Jesus didn't do for us, because he rests in the tomb. And we wait for Easter, which I think is really cool. There's a rest day where you go, oh, we're not celebrating activity, we're celebrating rest for things. All right, other festivals, yes?
Baptism.
Oh, yes. Sacramental festival. That's very good to celebrate. You go, oh, hey, we're having a baptism. Now, this is something, we talked about this in the baptismal Bible study, but something to think about for us, that our baptismal theology talks about God's grace and what he does for the child, what he does for us in our baptisms. A lot of the non-denom reformed ones make baptism a big show, and they do it once a year because they don't believe it's a grace, it's a what they do kind of thing. But I'm like, maybe we should hype up baptism a little more. We have a baptism, we're like, ooh, because look, God's doing something. It just happens to not be in the regular flow. It's out of the ordinary for things. Other festivals. So we have the big ones, major festivals of Christ. We have some minor ones that show up. So like Reformation, that kind of thing. We have some civil ones. What are some civil holidays we have? Thanksgiving, okay. 4th of July, that happens on that, right? Sometimes we celebrate like Labor Day and Memorial Day for civil holidays or things. Now, the big question is this, how can you make it more special? Like in 19, when do these festivals occur? How do you mark and attend? What activities do you look forward to in participating with these festivals? What do you like about our festivals? So that you can tell yourself and others. What are some things? Nobody likes the festivals. Oh.
Singing.
Singing, yeah. Yeah, actually we had another, this is a good case in point of singing that we had, was our 60th. And that was a festival, kind of way down the list for things, but we celebrated and we had singing. We had hymn singing, we did lots of stuff. Yes?
Okay, I'm thinking about at Easter time. I mean, I love all the service. I love Maundy Thursday.
Oh, yeah.
I love Good Friday, almost the best. Then, we did have that vigil here years
A long time ago, yeah. It's a hard day, that Saturday one, and it's a circuit one. They kind of said, hey, let's do it over at Emmanuel, and we'll do all the, if people want to come, that'd be great.
And then Easter, but, many churches don't do all those services, and what is that all about? But to me, you can't have Easter without having...
huge. For instance, one of the things that we have here in a new kind of format of stuff is that First Communion for those who have gone through catechesis, who are younger, they do it on Maundy Thursday as their First Communion for things. Now, that's awesome for them and their families. But what about the extended family of God that says, I'm going to go and celebrate them? I'm going to go and congratulate them because they're my brother and sister and they're taking communion with me, so I'm going to go on Maundy Thursday. Oh, it's Thursday night? No, I got school. No, I got sports. I got a track meet. I got other, and I'm like, why don't we go and celebrate other people? That's Thursday. Then you've got Good Friday and a number of services on Good Friday. Maybe Easter Vigil. Maybe not. Sunday, Easter. We do some big things on Sunday. Other things you like to participate in. Over here. Oh, go ahead.
So some of the readings that happen at the same festivals, you have traditional readings, and that doesn't happen most of the time. There's processionals that are special at some of these festivals, remembrances, All Saints, altar colors that are different.
Oh, yeah. And we have some really great paraments that are coming up.
Right.
We've got some new ones that are happening, and they're going to be stellar when they arrive and they're here. So.
And the decorations around church.
Yep.
Like that right there.
Extra decorations all and around. There's special things to make you look forward to it. To go, this is a special time to look forward to. It's Advent as you look forward to Christmas. It's Pentecost as you look forward to the end of the church year. There's those things of like, hey, I like this. Go ahead.
Festivals, I like to have a different service, a special service.
Oh,
for it.
yes.
Not just the same old that we kind of get into, but something special.
Yeah. If you notice, the liturgies of our special services are. Now, the hard thing among Holy Cross people, just to hang a lantern on it, is that when you have a special service for a high festival, it's great to get everybody together. What's the hurdle of getting everybody together at Holy Cross? Oh, I can't go to early service. I only go to late. Oh, I can't go to late service. I only go to early. Oh, and we'll say, okay, let's split the middle. Then what happens? Yeah, actually, I maybe once in my lifetime here, I heard people, it's like, oh, it's kind of crowded, which it really wasn't. Other than that, that's an illegitimate excuse. It is never too crowded. It is people don't want to sit next to each other. That's the excuse. What'd you have over here? I heard that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, nobody's happy with doing that. We have some issues, and this is kind of the reason. So if we said, hey, I'm going to make it a priority to hit all the major festivals. And that was an early service person or a late service person. Then if we did something special, like a 9 o'clock service that did big pomp and circumstance and everything, they'd both be there. But we have some hurdles. Some of them are family, sometimes maybe church and timing things, but like, how do we overcome it? All right, next one. I had some others. Yes, in back, please.
I said singing Silent Night with the candles on Christmas Eve, Easter sunrise service, processing into the church from outside, and the pounding of the nails into the cross and the stripping of the altar on Good Friday.
Yeah, those are big and impactful. Now, there is a saying, it's from the Roman Catholic Church early on, but they will make a saying like, oh, I went to church today and they had all the smells and bells. Ever heard that phrase? What that means is they did all this extra stuff to make the service special. So they brought in incense and they had the ringing of the bells and they had all this different stuff so people could experience it more. And I always tell people what you want to do is you want to include all 5 senses in your worship service. Usually the only 2 senses that most people will engage in a worship service are 2. What are those 2? Sight and sound, right? What are the other 3? Yeah. Do you realize that it's more powerful if you bring in a smell? Much more powerful. You realize it's much more engaging when you have something to eat? That's why sacrament is an edible thing, just to let you know, all right, for that. So tasting, smelling, feeling things. Sometimes we've made everything just sterile because of COVID and all this other stuff, but feeling stuff. Saying, you know, I'm feeling the pew in front of me. I'm feeling the hymnal. Oh, no, we can't have a hymnal. It's got to be up on the big screen. Only sight. I'm like, well, what if you had touch and sight and sound? That'd blow your mind. You might memorize a hymn instead of like, what are we singing today? That's what the ancient church did. In the modern church, because we got kind of reliant upon technology. Not saying technology is bad, but we've kind of stripped the church of things. And I'm like, well, maybe bring it back, the high festivals and things. All right, others. Yes, in back, please.
I loved Christmas caroling. When my husband was in the choir in California, we went door to door Christmas caroling. Can you hear me?
Yes,
okay.
Yeah, right up close.
And then here we used to go on hay rides, and people would know that we were coming and sing Christmas carols. Then we'd go to the old folks' home and go there and sing Christmas carols and bring everybody joy.
Yeah. Now, here's your bonus question. Do you know when we're caroling this year? Yeah, I made an announcement for it. It's next Sunday. Yeah. So after our lunch, there's some caroling opportunities that we have if you're interested in that. The other is, and I know we've kind of lost our singing for things, but you guys, Lutherans sing. We know that. You can go caroling without a whole crowd of people. You know that? You could go to the nursing home and say, hey, I'm going to sing 3 songs for you. I have a hymnal. I'll just bring it, and we're going to sing Rejoice, O Christian Throng, which we just sang. Or like, oh, I know that tune. Look, I'll give you something for that. You don't have to wait for 30 people. 30 people's nice. It's good. But we can do it individually, too. Others? Yes, please.
You were talking about the 5 senses, and I do this, and it just kind of hits the significance for me. But when I receive communion, I hold the wafer and I break the wafer.
Yeah.
I feel that break in my hand, and it's because it's my fault, right? That he had to.
Yeah, an action with it, or a smell. When you break that wafer, you get the smell of what broken bread. Now, it's kind of hard because of our very easy communion, if you would. If you had old unleavened bread, like the way unleavened bread is made, it's different. It's more tactile. It has things. We've got kind of like a little bit of that, but you can make unleavened bread in bigger ones. Sometimes churches will do that for Maundy Thursday, and they'll have it. In former churches, we did Maundy Thursday, you had unleavened loaves, and we ate it, and then all the remainder of the loaves, the pieces and things, we ate it on Easter. So we had, and it carried over, and people were like, what is this? This is the body that was broken for you, and he is alive. And it makes them think, because it's out of the ordinary for things. Yes, Gina.
I like how the Catholic Church, they do the frankincense and myrrh when they're leaving.
Oh, yes.
I love that.
Yeah, and sometimes hard, and I do understand, when you bring a smell into church, it can be offending, too. It can offend your senses. I know this from myself. My wife is often offended by the smell at Easter. What smells at Easter? Oh, do they smell? They do. And if you're allergic to it, you realize it. Now, she takes it as, I know it's death. I'm smelling death, but I'm seeing life. Because the women at the tomb smelled death. And on the Easter Sunday, they saw life for things. So it's like she realized it. It's a big thing. But it's a thing that she's always aware when the Easter lilies come in. And so you have to be kind of conscious. So it's not just like, oh, we're going to offend people just to offend people, but we do it well. Others, special occurrences. Yes?
The fellowship and food.
Oh, yeah. Food and fellowship. This is kind of something, and maybe we can do better at this at Holy Cross and as Lutherans. We remember the glory days of food. If you remember that? Oh, Pastor, we had potlucks. And we brought soup, and we brought all this stuff, which is good. Why don't people do that anymore? Nobody cooks. That's one. Oh, I'm too busy. I can't do it. Oh, I don't get what I want, and I don't have that. And so I'm like, well, maybe we need to change our functions. I knew of a church. It was actually a call a long, long time ago, and I was talking to them. They were in Arkansas, and they said, you know what we do is every Sunday after church, we have that one service. We always have a meal. Always have a meal. Everybody comes together, and we invite friends to the meal. And I'm like, that's pretty evangelical. That's something Lutherans can do really well. We can excel at food. That's what we have. And I'm like, well, why don't we do that again? But a lot of times we're like, nah. And then what happens is that we do have great food, but it's prepared for us. It's not everybody being a part of it and doing stuff. I remember bringing soups to soup suppers at my home. And if you made a good soup, it wouldn't stay around. You knew what good soups were because if you went 5 or 10 minutes late, that one would be empty, right? You wanted that good soup. You wanted to be there early, right, when they started with things. And now it's kind of prepared, and people are like, yeah, it's kind of like fast food a little bit. Not bad. We still have food. It's good. But I'm like, we've kind of lost that little flavor of what Lutherans used to do. Others had another. Yes, in back, please.
I love just the buzzy feel when it's so full and having to get there early and save your spot.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, especially if you put a plaque on your pew that says, this is my pew. I bought this pew. This is from me. Now, this is I was just thinking about this today, and you don't get to see it as much as I do with this, and I'd like to maybe figure out a way to fix this a little bit down in the future. But when you looked out, we had lots of crowds in the left and the right-hand side, and not a whole lot in the center. And what happens is it's called the Lutheran spread. Oh, I can't sit next to somebody up front. I got to sit way in back and far away from everybody else for things. And so we get this big spread instead of like feeling, oh, hey, it's full. I actually advise churches, the missional churches that are building and doing stuff. I said there's a way to trick people into thinking about your worship service is always full. So the first thing is you have your space, whatever that is, and you have chairs. You can't have pews because pews are locked into the spot. And then you take your weekly average. So let's say your weekly average is 100 people in a missional church, which is pretty big. And you have chairs. You set up 120. Because people will always be pleasantly surprised at 80%. They'll feel, oh, this is nice. If you set up only 100, people will come in and go, oh, it's too full. I can't sit. If you set up 140, people will come in and go, there's nobody here. It's a psychological principle. It's been over and over. That's why Walmart has certain spots. That's why malls do certain things. It's a principle of human behavior. I said, maybe we should just sit together closer, and then people come in, they go, wow, this seems really full. This is nice. There's these people. No, we got to be spread out. There's got to be one way over in this corner and one way down here in this corner, and they don't know each other. I'm like, maybe we can do better with that. Others, yes, please, Vern.
So this is to elaborate on the food thing. A church that I visited this fall in Louisiana, I just happened to get there on the right day, but it was it was a smaller church, but they have a potluck once a month, like second Sunday or third Sunday, whatever it is.
Yep.
That Sunday they have a potluck every month. Everybody attends, and then they announce birthdays for the month and celebrate that with the cake.
Oh, sure, and sing happy birthday, yeah. Yeah, that's, you could capitalize on some of this. The problem is we have some hurdles. That's what's going to go to the next questions. 3 additional ways you can make attending the festivals a priority, and what are 3 hurdles that cause you problems and not attending. So what are some, being honest with this, what are some things you can do for you, your family, or for someone else? Let's say you're sitting down with a young family, they're just having kids, and they're like, I'm having a hard time coming to church. We only come like once every 3 months. What advice could you give them to help them with that problem? Or what advice can you give yourself if you're not showing up every Sunday? So give me some things. So 3 good things that you might want to add, 3 hurdles that you might want to change. No, everybody's here 100% of the time. Yeah, right up here. Go ahead.
We always put it on the calendars, and then it can't surprise us.
Oh, yeah.
Because everyone says, oh, it's tomorrow. I didn't even realize it was happening. So we put it on the calendar. We talk about it a couple days before, and we set an alarm to wake up to make sure we're all ready to go.
Excellent. Yeah, calendars to set it. Next week, just to let you know, it's a little different. Next 2 weeks because of Christmas children's program. That's a special thing. 28th, we did it primarily because a lot of people were out of town and we had our servants were less. But it's at 9:00. So tell people, if you have social media, use it for your superpower for good. Say, hey, next week is 9:00. Everybody be there at 9. You're not 8, not 11 because you're used to that, but 9. We're going to do something special. And people go, oh, great. Thank you for reminding me. We'll put it on the calendar. Yes?
My biggest hurdle, I think, has to do with being older, because if it's something that I've been there, done that.
Oh, yeah.
And I like something new. I like something different.
Yeah,
and sometimes it's a problem if it's just the same old thing every time.
Yeah. This is something too, and I tell people this as well. It's a human condition, but I know people in grade school, a child will come up and say, it's all the same old math. Why are we learning it? And I'll go, yes, but you can apply it differently now. So for instance, Easter when you were 10 years old is a lot different than Easter today, because you have more application. Pretty easy. So let's engage in the application. Because a lot of times people go, I don't like the same old, same old. Like, that's true. You're getting bored with it. But if you're bored with something, how do you enliven it? That's the hurdle. So like, okay, now I enliven it. It's not get rid of it. I've seen some churches, they go, Christians celebrate Easter always on the same day. Then let's just not celebrate Easter, or we're going to celebrate Easter in, August. And you go, there's a reason why Christians celebrated Easter on the same day. Yes, you can have freedom to celebrate Easter in August. That is true. But it's a festival, and when festivals happen, you want to do it big and have things. That's a reason for it. But a lot of people, because of that, it's boredom, or they don't understand and engage. And I go, okay, a way to overcome that is engage more. That's a great way. I do it with my kids. My wife had a wonderful moment, and it was the moment of a Christian Lutheran mom. I don't get to see the moment because I'm up there. I'm the Christian Lutheran pastor. So the dad, she's doing the mom back in the pew. And we had our kids go to worship every Sunday. We had them do the liturgy every Sunday. And the kids were like all other kids. Man, why are we doing this? Man, this is boring. Man, I'm wiggling with my legs. Wow, I can't do anything. I can't sit still doing everything. Then when my youngest children were hitting about 7th and 8th grade, my wife had this revelation as she was in the pew. She said, I'm not parenting anymore. My kids are worshiping on their own and engaging in worship. How that happened was it took them 7 years to figure it out. And she's like, this is an amazing moment. We're worshiping together instead of me parenting them. And it can happen, but it takes some time. It takes some some habitual thing. This is the same thing. I mean, every parent and every child that's been through a sports camp or at sports, your coach will say the same thing. You are not going to be a star player just by showing up. You're a star player by doing it over and over and over and over until it becomes so ingrained in you, you know exactly what to do without thinking about it, and then you start to enjoy the game. Every coach says that. And then I go, why are we applying that to our lives in other places as well, to be ingrained in it over years until you go, wow, this is amazing. I know what it's like. Usually what happens is we eject and we give them an iPad and let them go entertain themselves somewhere. And we're like, okay, that might not be the best in education or even in church. Others, hurdles, additional things. What can we do?
I had, I had listened to a Lutheran podcast several weeks ago, and the guest, surprisingly, I thought, said, "Guess which church denomination is among the most successful in retaining their members?"
Oh, okay.
And it was the LCMS.
Yeah.
And he tied it back to what we're talking about: traditions, festivals, things that repeat, that people remember, and as they grow up, they say, "Well, I remember when we did this on Christmas Eve. I remember when we did this for Easter," and it tied them to the church, and there were marks in their life that they continued to observe. And then he ended with what I thought was a funny story. Anyway, he says, "Try this: go to Applebee's as a family, bow your head, and say the common table prayer."
Yeah.
And then watch as the grandma in the Thrivent shirt gets up from the bar and comes and pays your tab.
Oh, yeah.
Because she knows you're Lutheran.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah. I had one that I gave to my children now are in the next phase. We're in the middle of the launching and them becoming their own households for things. My daughter Jana got married. She has her own household. She started to put decorations and things up. I said, "I have a gift for you. This gift, I've been holding on to it for about 20 years. For you to have it in your own home. They are the AAL crosses." How many have an AAL cross on their wall? Ooh, can you describe it? What's the AAL cross look like? Yeah. Yeah, aluminum cross on wood. It's a dark wood, usually aluminum cross for things. You knew when you walked into a home and you saw that on the wall, you knew they were Lutheran. You knew it. Just immediately by the art. You just go, "Oh, okay." And I said, "Here is some of your history." They don't do it anymore because Thrivent's not Lutheran anymore. And so it's a very secular thing. Now, they do great secular work with things, but they don't do Christian work anymore. It used to be AAL and Lutheran Brotherhood, but did Christian work. And so you kind of knew it. And I said, that's kind of that history where you go, "Oh, I kind of know who we are by what we do and what we say." Others? Any others? Yes, please.
There is a certain resistance to spontaneity in my household. It might be me. I'm not going to call myself out. But that's the hurdle, and the fix for that is scheduling. So there's no surprises.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody in my family knows next week, 9 o'clock.
Yep.
There it is. So it's not like Saturday night. It's like, okay, everybody, here's what tomorrow is bringing.
Yeah. Just to make note, and this is from my wife and myself when we were at the National Youth Gathering. She's also speaking to DCEs on the East Coast in January. Our society is more in prevalent, not of the actual things, but of how they work, of ADHD, autism, things like that. We're seeing it more in people. We're recognizing it more. Spontaneity, they hate. They really do. We think they like it. They really don't, because what happens is they flit around. They need consistency for that. And I know that because I deal with ADHD. My kids do it. They need to know a calendar or what to look forward to. Looking forward to is an amazing thing. We've already made our plans for our summer vacation next summer. Our kids are looking forward to it already. My wife, although she loves to have the surprise, she loves planning more than a surprise. And so it's looking forward to it. Put it on the calendar, not the, "Oh, hey, I forgot we should have had a family vacation this year." What? No, make some sense with this. The other thing, too, here's a tip. We did it with our son this year. He probably will not be upset at me telling him this. My son Elijah is a great singer, loves to sing. He's looking for work. He's like most young people who are always looking for work and can't find anything because it's a hard field out there. We said, "Elijah, Mom's starting up choir. Come to choir." He did what the typical 19-year-old boy will do. "No, I don't want to do that." Mom and I know that would be good for him and he would like it. So what did we do? It was a hurdle. How are we going to overcome that hurdle? Very easy. "Hey, Elijah, we're going to take you out to eat after choir." Now it's a habit for him. He knows when choir is. It's great because it used to be "Hey, we got choir coming up." He's like, "Oh, yeah, I got to remember that." Now it's like, "Hey, it's Thursday, it's choir." "Of course I know that, Dad." You build that. It was a hurdle. You overcome that hurdle for things. Now, the last question is, how does this help you better confess Christ to others? So there is a purpose to this. It is not just internal. But how does it help you confess Christ, talk to others, show Christ to others? How does that work? All right, up here. We got to get the mic. We do have people who watch this very religiously because they can't come to church. So go ahead.
So, because you hear the word in church and then during the festival part, you can talk about it more?
Oh, okay. You can talk about it more. Yes, go ahead.
My job calls for me to do public speaking on occasion.
Okay.
Larger groups. It's a lot easier to talk to one person or to many person if you know of what you speak.
Oh, yes. That's that going to, why do you believe, teach, confess, and practice the way you do? If you know that and it's ingrained in you, it's much easier to tell people those things. Yes?
At Christmas Eve, we'd have to memorize some verse on Christmas Eve. And if we did that, we got a bag of candy with nuts and
yeah.
Every Christmas Eve.
Chub them. Oh, I missed that. I was talking with my brothers, and maybe, here we'll do some things I did in other churches as well, but we always got the brown paper bag with orange candies and nuts and a piece of fruit. And we always had that. We always looked forward to that. And it was a chub. I call it a chub, which is hey, come to this service, you'll get something. But if you miss the service, you didn't get it. That was come to 11 o'clock service on Christmas Eve and you'll get something. Come to Christmas Day service and you'll get something because people weren't coming to those services. Others, how does this help us confess?
But I went to catechism for 8 years. Every Wednesday, the Lutherans got to go to the church. I learned how to memorize, and I'm so grateful. If there was nothing in those 8 years, I could memorize all these things in the catechism.
Yeah. Another thing, too, which has been astounding, and I've known this from people who come in outside of our church. Give thanks unto the Lord for my help is in the name of the Lord. Do you realize you've memorized the liturgy? And you can do it without a big screen or a book? Yeah, the liturgy is Scripture. And that blows people's minds, too. And this is something that we've been doing on our big screens, is to hang a lantern on that. So when people come in, they go, oh, they're talking about Scripture right here. Oh, that's good. That's not just crazy Lutherans doing their Lutheran thing. It's like, this is crazy Christians doing a Christian thing. And to have that ingrained, it would be amazing just to say, okay, we're unplugging. We had the internet shut down and the electricity went off. So we're going to go old school with candles and books or by memory. And you'd be amazed at how much we'll go, oh, we know this stuff because we've done it over and over and over again. Yes, not saying it's bad, but I'm saying that how can we overcome some of the issues that we have of hurdles for things? You're like, okay, we've got some hurdles. One of the things, too, is maybe talk to people about what went on at church. How do you confess things? Like, for instance, what's my sermon text today? James. Oh, bring that up. You don't even have to talk about what I talked about. You say, hey, we talked about James today. That's a conversation starter. And a great conversation starter with a lot of Lutherans, because they'll go, what? And you're like, yes, it was in the same thing. It's in our liturgy, in our lectionary. It's there. But talk to people about it. A lot of times we just cover it up. We're putting a bushel over our light. And we're not showing people the light of Christ in our lives for things. How else? We're going to close with maybe somebody else or another one. How does this going to festivals, marking your calendar, doing these things help you confess Christ?
So a lot of the time at these festivals, there's a thing afterwards where everyone just gets together and it's not quite as formal.
Oh, sure,
right?
Yeah.
And those relationships that are being built here give you a safe place to go and talk to someone about what you're going through. Someone will hold you accountable for what you're doing, for things that you may be doing. Those core groups that we form from the festival afterwards. And those can build you up and lead you to where now you feel safe to express to share your faith with other people that are in your life, because you have that support system that's behind you.
Yeah, you have the encouragement of others around. This is something, once again, you might know me. I have these like weird thoughts of stuff of like, well, how would we do this? And one of the difficulties we have at Holy Cross is our geographic location in the building. If I told Wayne, lock the front door after worship, we would have more people in Bible study. It's true. Because what they do is they escape. They don't come in for fellowship and do so. You know it for things, which I always tell people now, we're not going to lock the door. That's a fire hazard and other things too. But why don't you grab somebody that's usually not here and grab their arm and say, come eat a donut with me. I want to talk with you and just have fun. Build that fellowship up. And then they come and they go, man, I didn't know we had Bible study here. This is kind of cool. You're like, yeah, come on in. Do this. This is our own people for things, let alone outsiders for stuff. Talking to them of what you do on Sundays, telling them they're blessed in Christ rather than just happy holidays. There's lots of stuff that you can do because of it's ingrained in you. That's really why we do it. Humans need to have training. We're like animals. We need reinforcement all the time. That's what the festivals do. They reinforce us in Christ. That's what the minor festivals do. They reinforce us in the body of Christ. That's what every Sunday does. They reinforce what it means, how we live as Christ. And what's happened in American Christianity is we've lost some of that. So I'm like, hey, why don't we just get back on the bandwagon? If the average is 50%, shoot for 75. That's a 25% gain. And then next year, say, maybe we can do better than 75. Maybe we can get another person. Maybe we can talk to people and work. We can improve and grow in how we confess Christ by what he's done for us in our worship services. So we're going to close here with the Lord's Prayer. Thank you. Very, very good conversation. Next week, there's no Bible study because we're doing special fellowship and for the kids, so please stay and come watch the program because they're going to confess Christ to us and have soup and maybe caroling after that. The following Sunday, which is a minor festival. Anyone know what the minor festival of December 28th is? It's one that a lot of people don't like to celebrate. It's Holy Innocents Sunday. Ooh, if you don't know what Holy Innocents Sunday, ask a neighbor. So we'll have that. But on that Sunday, where it's at 9 o'clock, afterwards, we're going to do a special Bible study of a Christmas quiz again. So it'll be different than last year, and come loaded because you'll probably have problems with it because you like some Christmas carol, but you don't know what it's about. That'll be on the 28th, and then we'll resume this study the following Sunday, which I believe is the 4th of January, and we'll resume it from then. So let's pray the Lord's Prayer together as God's family. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Thank you. Very good discussion today.